Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 211
on Now You Know.
We're brought to you, as always, by our amazing Patreon patrons. If you want to join this amazing community of really like-minded and wonderful people, I suggest you head over to patreon.com/nowyouknow and help support this channel. So as we all know, COVID-19 is going to be changing education a lot this year. Many students who would normally be heading into a classroom are going to be expected to perform at least some amount of learning online.
Now, this is probably your teacher or professor's first time teaching online, but this is what Brilliant.org has been doing for years.
Supplement your students' learning this year by going to Brilliant.org.
They have a lot of useful puzzles and lessons on a variety of subjects focused around science and math.
Brilliant has courses covering subjects that really tripped me up in school, including Algebra 1 and Geometry 1, all the way up through calculus and differential equations.
To support our channel and learn more about Brilliant.org, go to brilliant.org/nowyouknow and sign up for free.
And also, the first 200 people that go use that link will get 20% off the annual premium subscription.
Tesla Time News is sponsored by Lesser Evil Healthy Snacks.
Did you know that they're made nearby at their factory in Danbury, Connecticut?
Did you know that they only use healthy, organic, and non-GMO ingredients?
Do you know that my favorite so far is Lesser Evil's Himalayan Sweetness Popcorn?
Mine too. Organic popcorn. Grab a bag the next time you get the munchies. And head over to ecoware.us, where you'll find new designs uploaded every week, and we carbon offset the manufacturer, shipping, and life cycle of your purchase, and we plant a tree for every order.
Look at this new design. It's cool because you're wearing two t-shirts in one. He's wearing the Occupy Mars shirt.
While he's riding on a Dragon Crew capsule. That's cool. We are so proud of our entire team that brought home the trophy at Pikes Peak. The Electric Performance Tesla Racing Team did it.
Our video of the entire race day run is up on the Electric Performance channel. Bobby and Zach and I spent hours and hours, about 3 days full of work, to edit this thing together into what it is today. I really hope you go check it out. Here's a little sneak peek.
Okay, so according to Electrek, Tesla may have developed a bigger battery.
Now, we covered this in depth last Friday. I spent hours comparing my thumb to the person in the photo, and I estimated that it was a 5476, or a 54 diameter, 76 millimeter height cell.
Now, we believe that through our sources that you were pretty close, Jesse, but we now believe it is a 4180, 41 millimeters diameter, 80 millimeters in height.
Which doesn't change too much of the math. So if you want to see our conjecture about what that could mean, you should definitely head over to our in-depth and check that out.
Yeah, it could be really big news.
So the Hummer EV is due out in fall 2021.
So we're watching this video right here from GM of the Hummer EV. What is it doing?
So it's doing a crab walk.
And what's that for?
So it's for when you want to drive, but you don't want to drive just forward or backwards. You want to drive diagonally.
All right, so what is this for? Like changing lanes on the highway?
No, I think that this is going to be limited to under certain speeds. I think you're probably going to have to start it at a stop.
Oh, so if you're towing something, say, into a forest and you come up to a tree, and instead of having to back up with whatever you're towing, which would be hard, you could just like move over to the right. But the problem is, from this video, it looks like you're only going to go at like a slight angle. I was picturing more like a 45-degree angle.
Right. I think that there is use for this, I think, especially if you're not towing. I don't know why you'd use this while you're towing, honestly. I mean, it could fix a couple things, but what I think this is for is, yeah, kind of what you're saying for off-roading, where you need to, you're like, oh, I need to turn, but I can't turn. I just need to actually shift the car diagonally forward and back. And I think you could do this forward and backwards, so you could just kind of crab walk the car sideways as much as you wanted. So as long as you had a foot forward and a foot back, you'd be able to move the car sideways as far as you wanted to go.
Oh, so this would be good for like getting into tight parking spaces.
Yeah, and with a giant Hummer, that's something that you're going to need to do. Another thing that this might mean is since you're able to turn the back wheels, that might mean that you could have a tighter turn radius.
Wait, so turn the wheels in an opposite direction to the front wheels, but that's not what they're showing here.
Right, and that might be something that they're going to unveil later. It definitely has the capability to do this. I think that you can see this happen on some fire engines where the back wheels will actually turn, allowing you to have a very tight turn radius to where instead of just sort of pulling the wheels along and they follow, they're canted out, so they're going to follow a nice tighter turn, which again, you're going to need for such a big truck.
And do you think this is going to come on the base model, or is this just for like the upper end?
Well, that's a really good question because I think that this is going to be pretty darn expensive. I don't think that it's that cheap to add more actuators and stuff to turn the rear wheels of your car. Typically, this is a very premium end sort of deal. You don't just slap this onto any car going out. So I think that this is going to either mean that the Hummer EV is going to cost a lot of money, which doesn't surprise me at all. Or it's, like you said, going to be in like the premium package of the Hummer EV.
Now, does this hurt Tesla or help it?
Well, you could say like, oh, some people are going to say, oh, I want Crabwalk, so I'm not going to get the Cybertruck. That potentially, yes. But again, Tesla's going after such a huge market, the pickup truck market. Having GM create a electric pickup truck at all and having it have any cool features whatsoever gets people talking about electric pickup trucks. That, I think, is going to drive traffic towards Tesla because it's going to be like, oh, I want that Hummer EV. Oh, what? It's 80, 90, 100K? I don't want to pay that much. Oh, there's the Cybertruck, which costs like $40,000? Sweet, I'll definitely go for that option. So I think overall it's going to be a big positive for Tesla and all EVs and the world.
So Tesla has been offering full self-driving for $8,000 and the basic autopilot package of stay in lane and traffic-aware cruise control for free. But now Tesla is offering a package of autopilot features for $4,000.
So this is called Enhanced Autopilot. They had been selling this before, although with a smattering of different features, I believe. And let's just talk about what this $4,000 upgrade will have.
All right, so it will have Navigate on Autopilot, Auto Lane Change, Auto Park, and Summon.
Okay, so Navigate on Autopilot, for those who aren't familiar with it, it's not going on the highway and putting it in autopilot. It's going on the highway, putting it in autopilot, then having it do auto lane changes and taking highway exits and off-ramps and interchanges and stuff like that.
All right, so you mentioned auto lane change. Auto park, which means?
Basically, you can drive your car slowly past a space. If it sees the space, you can just say park, and it'll park the car for you. That works in both parking, it'll back in, and also for parallel parking.
But you're in the car as the driver when it does it.
Yep.
And then summon, and this means both dumb summon, just kind of in and out of a space, and also smart summon, where you could be pretty far from the car and it will come to you.
Okay, so this $4,000 upgrade seems like it has just about everything that the full self-driving upgrade has, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's just 2 features more that you get for full self-driving. You get traffic light and stop sign control. And then coming soon, you get auto steer on city streets. Now, my question is, is it worth the extra $4,000 for those 2 features?
Yeah, I mean, right now, it kind of does auto steer on city streets. It does them on, I would say, back roads where there are lines. Basically, any road with well-marked lines, you can get it to autopilot and auto steer. So I don't know if that means that they're going to take away the ability for you to do autopilot off of the highway unless you get this full self-driving package. But we also have to keep in mind that the full self-driving package has all of the full self-driving capability. This kind of locks you in to all of the full self-driving up to, I would assume, the point where you can go to sleep and have your car drive you and have your dog pick up your mom at the airport.
Well, so I kind of want to ask, why are they doing that right now then? Why are they offering this enhanced autopilot package for $4,000?
So I think it comes down to money. All of the things that are in enhanced autopilot are features that Tesla can give you right now, which means that if you buy this $4,000 package, Tesla can take all that money up front right away. The difference between this and the full self-driving package is that because full self-driving has a bunch more features that haven't come out yet, Tesla has to kind of keep your money in escrow. They can't take your money for something that they haven't given you yet. You could probably sue them over it. And
right, they're only able to take the percentage that they already are offering.
So it's not your money anymore. It's now sitting in an escrow account that Tesla can tap into every time they come out with a new feature. So when they come out with auto steer on city streets, whatever that's going to look like, I'm assuming it's stoplights and left and right turns at intersections, whatever, who knows what that'll be. Once they roll out that feature, Tesla's going to be able to take another chunk out of that escrow account.
But for Q3,
they want money, and they know that people will be able to fork up maybe $4,000. Maybe not everyone, but some people. You know, if you have a certain price spread and you lower the price, you're going to move people up. That's just basic economics. You learn that in Microeconomics 1.
I wonder if the S&P Inclusion Committee said to Tesla, you know, we want to make sure that you're profitable for more than just these 4 quarters. And I wonder if Tesla's making sure that Q3 is profitable.
Right. Now, you might be saying, well, okay, well, what if I get enhanced autopilot, this $4,000 upgrade, and then I want to get full self-driving? I guess it must just be another $4,000.
Nope, it's actually another $5,000 if you want to jump from enhanced autopilot to full self-driving. So if you're thinking of going full self-driving, you might want to save the $1,000 and pull the trigger on the whole $8,000 now. Keep in mind, the price of this continues to rise.
Right. Full self-driving is going to continue to get more and more expensive as they add more and more features. So that's something to keep in mind. The sooner you get in on it, I mean, it used to cost $5,000 for full self-driving. Now it's $8,000. Pretty soon it'll be $10,000.
And Elon says someday it'll be $100,000.
So good to get in early, I guess.
Now, remember last week that we passed on some reporting from our buddy Stefan at Nextmove in Germany that non-Tesla EVs were able to charge at Tesla superchargers.
And by the way, if you were looking to rent an EV in Europe, please contact our friends at Nextmove. They have the largest EV fleet in Europe.
Anyway, well, the supercharging for any EV didn't seem to last. As of last Monday, that bug seems to have been fixed.
Now, the question is, was it a bug? Or was it a complicated strategy move by Tesla to basically get a lot of other EV owners excited about charging at Tesla superchargers?
Yeah, well, let's look at Nextmove's poll here, where most people said
it was a bug.
There is a good point here. If Tesla intended for other EVs to charge at their superchargers, then why do you have to park all crooked in order to pull, you know, because don't forget, most superchargers have very short cables and they're not in the right place for most other EVs. So that's a good argument for it being a bug.
But I would argue you just put longer cables on the superchargers, or you have a section of superchargers that are specifically for other EVs. I mean, they put brand new cords on a ton of superchargers all over Europe just for the Model 3. You think that they couldn't go and put longer cables on there? I don't think so.
The other thing is, if this is a bug, then how come no one noticed it since Level 3 superchargers have been in Europe since the end of 2019? It seems like if this were a bug, someone would have plugged in one day with a e-Golf or something and been like, hey, I'm getting a charge, and it would have made the news.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is it a bug? Isn't it a bug? It doesn't really matter if it's a bug or not, because I think this has already started a conversation where people are like, I would love to be able to charge my new ID3 at a Tesla supercharger station. You know, I can get all the way down to Croatia. I can go all the way to the northern regions of Norway.
Yeah.
Of course I want this.
So the Ray and the Weber Energy Group at the University of Texas, Austin have completed the nation's first mapping tool assessing the potential for solar installed on U.S. interstate roadsides.
Wait. You mean like solar roads?
No, so I'm talking about when you get off an exit or onto a highway, there's large like triangles of land usually that are just bare, right? You need to be able to see the highway coming up. So there's usually no trees, but they're large and they're just wasted space. Mm-hmm. And so what this program helps you do is to find out how much of that land area you have and to start to figure out if you can implement it for solar.
So you're talking about like the big medians in between the highways that are running for thousands of miles across the country. And like you're saying, every highway interchange, all the clover leafs. Mm-hmm. I remember as a kid, I would look at the clover leafs and I would be like, I just went around the whole clover leaf. How does anything get into this clover leaf? I'm thinking about like, well, what do the frogs do? Right. The poor frogs that are living there, they can never leave.
Yeah.
Or they have to play Frogger to get across the highway. So instead of having nothing in the middle of a cloverleaf or on that highway on-ramp or off-ramp, you'd actually put solar?
Yeah. So most states have more than 200 miles of interstate right-of-way and exits suitable for solar development. This could generate up to 36 terawatt hours per year of clean energy, or $4 billion in economic value. State departments of transportation can harness this revenue stream and actually make money. In 2020, the Georgia Power Company commercialized a 1 megawatt solar array that you're seeing here at exit 14 of the Ray Highway. And Georgia is the third state in the nation to utilize the highway roadsides for renewable energy development.
So wait, you're saying this one on-ramp, that one little leg between the road that it's coming off of and the highway that it's going on to, just that one triangle was 1 megawatt?
Yeah, we're talking so much wasted space. Like we talk about roofs all the time, which are basically wasted, but think of all the wasted space on highways.
And you can't really use that space. Like we said, you can't like have a playground there because you can't walk there.
But you know what you can do? In addition to the solar, you can plant pollinating flowers so that you can actually have habitat for things that have been lost, like habitat for bees.
So you're saying underneath those solar panels, you can actually have plants?
Yeah.
It's not just this death zone of no sun.
Nope. We control that land. That's our public space. So it's not like we have to leave it up to the Department of Transportation and be like, well, I hope they do it.
Right.
You can call them up and say, hey, representative in government, I want to do this.
Right. And here are 12 of my friends who agree with me.
Exactly.
And we're all going to be coming to your meetings and we're going to be ranting and raving about this sort of stuff. And that is going to create change. And luckily, there's already a highway exit with this. So you can play the video and be like, look at that. Yeah. They're making money off of that.
Yeah.
Do you know that they're making money off of that instead of it just sitting there, not making any money, needing to be mowed every, like 2 weeks?
Yeah. Pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So let's head over to Jeff Roberts in Texas for a GigaTexas update.
Welcome to GigaTexas. I'm Jeff Roberts, and here comes another update. Let's go! Tesla isn't wasting any time on building GigaTexas. I call it Construction Disneyland because there are so many different areas of the site being worked right now that when you arrive, you just don't know what attraction to go to first. In Casting Land, looks like preparations for a GigaPress are underway. And over here in Switchyard Land, thanks to a recently released site plan, we now know that this area is being readied for the arrival of electric equipment and low voltage modulars. Now we travel over to What's Going On Over Here Land as we see construction offices with power setup. Perhaps they'll be working on the ecological paradise, complete with riverwalk, bike trails, and birds in the trees. Now here's an exciting find over in Batch Plant Parts Land. And would you take a look at this? Seems like someone will be getting an upgrade. And here we are way up north at the Starship launch pad. And what is going on right here? It's amazing. Everywhere you look in this 300-acre area, something is happening. Crews are excavating, leveling, pouring, cutting, filling, and draining. There is no stopping GigaTexas as Tesla is making major progress every single day. Well, I hope you enjoyed that GigaTexas update. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, be sure to check out the Quad Squad channels. If you want daily updates, check out my channel. If you want deep dives, check out Joe Tetmeyer's channel. And if you want unique perspectives and different times of day flights, check out Randy and Jack's channels. Thanks for watching. And now you know.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I love how the Quad Squad works together to cover this historic project. I mean, this is the Tesla community at its finest.
Yeah, and to be honest, this is why we created this channel, to be a part of a community of people, the Tesla Nation, that crosses all borders, ethnicities, and genders, working to educate and move this planet towards a brighter future. So please go support the Quad Squad. And on Cybertruck Owners Club, member Henry has posted these site plans for those of you who want to dive in deep, and they reveal the massive size and shape of the buildings as you saw in Jeff's report. As Elon tweeted on Saturday,
it's shaped like a diamond and aligned on true north. Man, and I can't wait for that factory to start making Cybertrucks.
Tesla Time News is sponsored by Cybertruck Owners Club. There you'll find a crowdsourced reservation tracker that you can update and find your place in line. Check out their website for Cybertruck news, discussions, and community for Cybertruck enthusiasts and future owners.
And they have a 3D configurator allowing you to visualize the Cybertruck in any color, wrap, or logo, both on screen and in augmented reality.
Now, according to UK's Car magazine, the VW Executive Board has approved the sale of Bugatti to the Croatian electric supercar maker Rimac in exchange for a bigger share of Rimac.
VW is going to buy Rimac and put them under Bugatti?
No, they're going to just sell Bugatti to Rimac.
Rimac.
And get a slightly bigger share of Rimac for it.
So why would Volkswagen want a bigger share in Rimac, and why would Rimac want Bugatti?
Okay, so let's pretend that you're a rich billionaire.
Yes.
Okay, so now picture that you're about to impress all your friends by buying a supercar. Like, so you start, messaging all your friends like, hey, come over to my party this weekend. I'm going to have a new car there for you to check out.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you rather buy a Rimac or a Bugatti? Which one do you think your friends are going to know more about?
The Bugatti. I mean, it's in the zeitgeist as a very expensive car. I woke up in a new Bugatti. Like, they've got all the rap songs about it. It's a cool car. Everyone knows about it. But there's not a lot of rap songs about Rimac yet.
Nothing wrong with the company. Awesome company, but they just don't have the brand recognition yet. So what did they want? They'd like a brand.
I see. So, this is huge news because Bugatti now is going to be owned by Rimac, which means that Rimac, they're not going to make gas cars.
Ooh.
So all the new Bugattis are going to be these electric supercars.
That's what I'm guessing.
But now Volkswagen doesn't own Bugatti and they don't own Rimac.
Right, but they'll have a share in Rimac through Porsche. So that basically shows that they're banking on the fact that Rimac has got the technology they need.
So, but let me just ask, why didn't they just buy Rimac?
That's a great question. My guess is that Rimac is so big now as a company that the price tag is probably so big that they can't afford it.
So they should have done it earlier. They should have tried to buy them out earlier.
If they had bought it earlier, my guess is it might have flopped. We've talked about great companies coming from great leaders, but Mate Rimac is a great, fantastic CEO and leader and founder of the company, and I think this all comes from him, his inspiration. I don't know if you bought him out and just made him fat and happy with money, if he would have kept doing this.
So you think that it is the scrappy nature of Rimac that is going to make Rimac great, and now you're basically handing them a well-known brand, and you're saying, okay, go do something with this. But, I mean, this seems like a great deal for Rimac. It seems like a terrible deal for Volkswagen. You're losing Bugatti. I mean, I didn't even know that Volkswagen owned Bugatti.
Yeah, they bought it in 1998 when the CEO at the time just kind of loved the brand so much that he bought it outright.
This seems like Rimac is just going to say, okay, we're Bugatti now, and now we're going to create the supercars, and Volkswagen's not going to see any bit of it.
But they'll be a part owner.
Well, I'm just glad that all of this happened. Honestly,
it's honestly amazing.
Yeah.
You take a guy again who just was fooling around with conversions, and now is basically gonna own Bugatti.
That is really cool.
It's really cool. All right, let's file this under How Stupid Can You Be?
So a report from the Alberta Canadian Federal Police last Thursday read, Alberta RCMP received a complaint of a car speeding on Highway 2 near Ponica. The car appeared to be self-driving, traveling over 140 kilometers an hour, with both seats completely reclined, and occupants appeared to be asleep. The driver received a dangerous driving charge and summons for court.
All right, so what happened?
So the call came in at about 4 p.m. on July 9th of a 2019 Model S speeding south on Highway 2 near about 100 kilometers south of Edmonton. Sergeant Darren Turnbull pulled up behind the speeding Tesla and clocked it going at about 140 kilometers an hour. That's about 87 miles an hour. He said nobody was looking out the windshield to see where the car was going. I've been policing for over 23 years, and a majority of that in traffic law enforcement. I'm speechless. I've never seen anything like this before. But of course, the technology wasn't there.
So the RCMP charged the 20-year-old British Columbia driver with speeding, issued a 24-hour license suspension for fatigue, and a criminal code charge of dangerous driving. But here's my thought.
Okay.
As we know, if you're driving in autopilot, about every 15 to 20 seconds, it alerts you that you have to have your hands on the wheel. Mm-hmm. And if you aren't putting the appropriate pressure, it drops you out of autopilot. We have a video where we tested this.
Yes.
So if he was indeed reclined and asleep,
Yep.
he could have only been reclined and asleep for about 20 seconds.
Well, there can be ways to defeat this checking mechanism.
But the orange method no longer works.
True, but I mean, I can think of at least a couple ways that you could probably fake this system out.
Okay. So you're thinking that he's actually figured out a way to fake out the system? Because I haven't figured out a way.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do it live on the air, but yeah, I think that you could definitely spoof out the system. And I don't know why you do this. Like, you'd have to be so dumb to do this. There's a myriad of reasons why you shouldn't be trusting your life to autopilot alone, and that you, the driver, like, first of all, it's in the instruction manual to not do that. Secondly, if you have an iota of common sense, you know that that's stupid. If you've driven on autopilot for any length of time, you know that it doesn't behave properly at 100% of the time. So
also, these speeds are incredibly fast.
Yeah, these are speeds that you really don't want to get into an accident with. This isn't, I mean, even if you were going 40 miles an hour, I don't think it would make any sense. Even if you're going 20 miles an hour, I don't think that you would fall asleep. I can understand you're 20 years old and you're an idiot and you do this because you're an idiot. I can see that. Or maybe it's not exactly like it has been portrayed.
Yeah, because if the police officer had pulled up alongside the Model S, then I can see that you could look in and see exactly what's going on. If you pull behind it, I don't think that you're really going to get a full sense of whether the driver is maybe just peering over the dash.
I don't know. Either way, yes, if the person was using autopilot like this, they should be criminally charged. They probably shouldn't be allowed to drive. I don't think that this is a smart use of autopilot at all. And
I just don't know how accurate the reporting is. But the other thing I want to point out is, keep in mind, in Canada, there have been 0 reported self-driving accidents. So the technology does work really well.
Well, and let's keep in mind, let's say this was 10 years ago, and the same kid, same age, let's say he was born 10 years earlier. He wanted to do this. He wanted to lay down and fall asleep while the car was driving. You know, we would have just heard the story. Some kid driving 140 kilometers an hour crashed his car into something and died. I don't know why that happened. It was an open stretch of road because I guess he fell asleep. It's cool that at least with autopilot, he was able to be pulled over and charged criminally instead of dying or killing someone else.
So we're seeing some video here of Ford's all-electric F-150 pickup truck prototype, and it appears to be going through some tough testing. First, we see towing up steep grades, off-roading, going over rocks, and then super steep grades of 60%.
This will be Ford's first all-electric pickup truck due out in
2021. Looking forward to it. It's going to come out at the same time as all the other pickup trucks. We're going to have so many to choose from.
No. In last week's launch event, Ford updated the timeline. It won't start to be produced until mid-2022.
Whoa. They said 2021.
Well, now. Now they're saying 2022.
Okay, why?
Because they're not ready.
Why aren't they ready? They have factories everywhere. Why aren't they ready?
Well, that's because last week they also released their first image of their upcoming new electric factory, which will be built in Dearborn.
Wait, that's not an existing factory?
No, that's a picture of what the factory will look like.
Wait, so they have to build the factory, then they have to build the truck?
Yes, just like Tesla, except that Tesla is months and months and months ahead.
Oh.
So the World Wildlife Fund has just released their latest Our Living Planet report for 2020, which shows that wildlife populations have plummeted on average by 68% since 1970.
What?
Yeah, and that's just an average. The population of freshwater creatures has dropped by 84%, mainly due to habitat destruction and forest clearing.
I can't even wrap my head around this.
Okay, well, let me try and help you out. So to put this into perspective, let's say that it was, instead of 68% of all wildlife, let's say it was 68% of all humans.
Okay.
So this would sort of be like if we completely nuked all of North America.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and all of Europe.
Wait, so nuke all of North America and Europe. Is that including Russia?
Screw it. All of Russia.
Whoa.
Nuke all of Russia too. And all of South America.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are kind of smaller countries.
Okay, and all of China.
What?
And all of India.
What?
And all of Australia. And then all of Africa. And when I say nuke, I don't mean like nuke the major cities of. I mean kill every single person in every single one of those places that I just mentioned. All dead. Just imagine that they're all dead.
That's what we've wiped out since 1970?
Just picture that.
In my lifetime?
Yes.
That's what we've wiped out?
Yes. You don't even know what countries would be left. You don't know any of those people. You don't know anyone who would be left.
I just feel like throwing up my hands and giving up. Like, I don't even know what to do with this information.
What? You can't. You can't throw your hands and be like, oh my gosh, well, that's crazy. oh no, I don't know what else to do. Because you know what? It would be like if we had this horrific war and nothing came of it and it just kept progressing. We need to end this ridiculousness. We can't just throw up our hands and give up. We all need to change our individual destructive habits, and we each need to make a difference. So choose electric mobility, change your diet to a more plant-based diet, buy more responsibly sourced products, that usually means buying local, and buy from more sustainable companies. Just those things alone can make a small difference, which, when combined with many, many other people, can make a much larger difference and will make a further impact on how the world gets run. That's not everything that you should do, but that's at least a start. And another thing you can do is share this little clip with your friends because they need to hear it. So head over to the Now You Know Clips channel. We will put this clip about how this is sort of like if we blew up pretty much all the continents on the planet, and you can send it to them so that way they can hopefully get their heads screwed on straight.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a wake-up call. Some good news. Scania is now offering electrified trucks, both a hybrid and a full battery electric version in both the L and P cabs. Scania's president and CEO, Henrik Henriksson, said, "It is with a great deal of pride that we announce the start of Scania's long-term electrification commitment. We will, over the coming years, annually launch electrified products for our entire range, and we are presently reorganizing our production towards that end. Of course, of particular significance is that we will, in a few years' time, also introduce long-distance electric trucks adapted for fast charging during drivers' compulsory 45-minute rest periods."
Well, this is great news. So the electric version will have a 230 kilowatt or 310 horsepower motor with 2 gears and 165 or 300 kilowatt hours of batteries for up to 250 kilometers or 155 miles of range.
Yeah, there'll be 2,200 newton meters of torque, and it'll have 130 kilowatt CCS fast charging, so you can charge to full in about 100 minutes. Regenerative braking and full 60 kilowatt DC link for body auxiliaries like refrigeration and hook lifts are available, so this truck can be configured for many different uses. It doesn't just have to be a delivery truck. It can be a garbage truck, anything like that.
That's really cool.
So you told me earlier that this next story is going to be boring. You mean like The Boring Company?
No. This story on its face seems kind of boring, but it's actually really exciting. So the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission passed Order 2222 by a 2-to-1 vote on Thursday. Order 2222 would allow distributed energy resources, or DERs, like rooftop solar, behind-the-meter batteries, and electric vehicles to aggregate and compete with regional transmission organizations, or RTOs, and independent system operators, ISOs. Hey, wake up! Wake up!
That was good.
Yeah.
Good story.
What did I just say? What did I just say?
It was, the FERC passed the thing that led the DER aggregations to compete with the RTOs.
Okay, so distributed energy resources like rooftop solar, batteries like power walls, and even electric cars can now aggregate together. Do you know what that sounds like?
Oh, wait. This isn't a boring story.
Right. Do you know what are those aggregations going to be called?
That's a virtual power plant.
Virtual power plants. So Tesla could be a utility because of this order.
This could be the end of utilities as we know them.
Yes. So just to make it a little bit more exciting, this is like Star Wars Episode 3. The Emperor goes, and in this case it would be the Federal Energy Resource Committee. It would go, "Execute Order 2222.
Yes, my lord."
So yeah, I mean, just to make it a little more exciting, it's kind of like you have all these weaker, a solar system on your house might not necessarily be able to be a grid provider.
Right. So I just want to clarify, so my power walls and my solar system can be grouped together with others under, say, Tesla to become a utility.
And now you don't have to deal with your crummy utility anymore as much. They'll still probably be in charge of the power lines, but at some point, maybe Tesla could buy them out. And you wouldn't have to deal with all these crappy rules. And now these utility companies can start lobbying in the same way that a regular utility company can. And they can start saying, I think that we should be banning coal. I think that we should be adopting a much better net metering rate.
Right. This gives the utilities a way, they probably don't see it yet, but a way to actually do what we're talking about Tesla could do, which is National Grid, for instance, could say to a bunch of users, hey, why don't you put solar on the roof and aggregate with us?
Right. If they were smart, but they have all of these investments in all of these dirty power plants that they aren't going to want to do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you explained it that way because, I mean, I, like everyone else, probably would have just fallen asleep trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, remember Martin Tripp? He was the Tesla lead process technician who in 2018 leaked information to Lynette Lopez of Business Insider, mainly about scrap materials at Giga Nevada, but also claiming that Tesla was installing damaged battery cells into battery packs.
Right.
Remember him?
I remember that guy. We did a whole in-depth about him. It was the whistleblower or saboteur. Didn't Tesla sue him for leaking trade secrets about the production of the Model 3?
Yeah. Tripp claimed he was a whistleblower, but last Thursday, a Nevada district court judge sided with Tesla on all but one motion. So that one motion was that Tesla was claiming $167 million in damages because their stock price dropped after the story came out. But that's the one motion they didn't win. The judge decided that that didn't really damage Tesla because the stock price went right back up soon after.
I see.
But Tesla can reclaim the $261,000 of investigative costs that they put in and all of their legal costs because the court sided with Tesla on the other three motions against Tripp.
So this is bad news for Martin Tripp, to say the least. The other bad news is that there are a lot of documents that are now coming out to the public revealing what happened between Martin Tripp and Lynette Lopez from Business Insider.
Yeah, it's really pretty interesting, and it's not that dry. There's a summary in this court case that you can read that'll give you basically all the kind of background of what happened, and it's kind of cool to see the backstory of how this unfolded, which was kind of behind the scenes at the time.
So there's actual recorded like text messages where Martin Tripp was telling someone else, oh, hey, you should tell Lynette Lopez from Business Insider about stuff at Tesla because she'll pay you money.
Yeah, even though she knew that would be breaking their NDA with Tesla.
So that's just one of the juicy things that was uncovered in some of these court documents.
Yeah. The CEO of Electrify America, Giovanni Palazzo, told Electrek last week that Electrify America has already installed Tesla Powerpacks at about 60 Electrify America charging sites, and that Electrify America plans on having 100 to 120 charging stations with Tesla Powerpacks by the end of the year. He said Tesla batteries are super helpful, not only for reducing the impact of demand charges, but also the impact on the grid.
And speaking of Electrify America, we've often harped on Electrify America for billing by the minute as opposed to by the kilowatt hour.
Yeah, you don't get charged at a gas pump by the minute.
Right. Well, this story is good news. In 23 states that allow Electrify America to bill per kilowatt hour, they have started doing just that.
Oh, great.
Do you want to hear the price
Of what?
per kilowatt hour?
I'm sure it's fair and reasonable.
It's 43 cents per kilowatt hour.
That's reasonable, right?
How much is your electric rate?
10 to 20 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah, that's like going to a gas station with double the price of gas.
But I mean, to be fair, that's only if you don't have an Electrify America account.
Right. So for $4 a month, you can lower that rate to 31 cents per kilowatt hour. But that's still 10% higher than the 28 cents per kilowatt hour at Tesla stations.
But Jesse, we should be grateful to Electrify America to be making EV charging available for everyone.
Well, keep in mind that this is a court-mandated action against Volkswagen because of the Dieselgate scandal. So this is like when your brother pushes you down the stairs and your mom gets mad at him and forces him to give you his cookie, and yet he still charges you 31 cents per bite? Are you grateful for that? Are you like, oh, thanks, brother. Well, you did push me down the stairs. Are you happy? Are you grateful for that? When your mom is like, Henry, you give him your cookie. You're such a bad kid. Like, Henry wasn't doing that out of the goodness of his heart, and Volkswagen wasn't making Electrify America out of the goodness of their heart.
That's a good point. I often forget that Electrify America is out of Dieselgate. So according to Electrek, Lucid Motors laid down a track time of 1 minute 33 seconds at Laguna Seca with their Lucid Air last week.
Now, if that's true, and the reason I say that is that the 1 minute 33 does not appear to be official, that would beat the time of 1 minute 36.55 of the Tesla Model S Plaid prototype completed last year.
Yeah, I guess my question here is this kind of good because it's a competition to Tesla, and so now we've got two actually competing electric cars, and we know how Elon is when he's got competition. He puts it into overdrive and kicks out some cool new thing in his cars.
I think even going beyond this, it highlights how good Tesla is, because let's face it, we're not like every day going and be like, let's see what the fastest car at Laguna Seca Raceway is. You're not doing that every day. It only happens when there is a news story where the record has been broken, or there is some controversy, or there's some back and forth. That is where you actually get some news stories and people actually start thinking about it and being like, oh, wow, the Tesla's pretty fast. Oh, this Lucid's pretty fast. I think it's good for both companies. It highlights the performance of both of their cars. And going forward, I'm excited to see if Lucid is going to be the top dog, or if Tesla's going to take that back from them, maybe after Battery Day, maybe after the Roadster comes out. We'll see. So the Holland, Michigan Police Department is getting a Tesla Model 3 for their detectives.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. City Manager Keith Van Beek told Holland City Council, you'll notice that we're only buying one. We're not buying 4 of them because we want to do that evaluation. We want to have a better feel. So I guess before they want to buy more, they want to make sure that this one makes sense.
Smart.
Totally makes sense. Mayor Nathan Box said, yes, there is a higher front-end cost on this, but the fuel savings alone are generally pretty significant. We have actually visited a police department that has a Model 3, and they told us that they were doing a study and that basically the results are coming back golden,
right.
That Tesla is going to be saving them a lot of money just based on the fuel and maintenance costs that are so much lower with an electric car. And the other cool thing is, Detective Tesla is going to get a sidekick. So with their trusty human sidekicks, Detective Tesla will be able to solve even more crimes.
I see a Netflix show.
I mean, it's so cool. You have this amalgamation of thousands of cars around the world, and now you actually put detectives in the detective cars. So over here at Now You Know Studios, we are all about electric mobility, and we want to try every single piece of electric mobility possible. And that sometimes includes some pretty silly stuff.
Yeah, remember we got this HiBoy A5 electric football. That's kind of the best way I can describe it. And we reviewed it on our Now Let's Review channel. It's really amazing now how with batteries getting cheaper, what you can build for e-mobility. So use our link below to get 5% off if you're looking for an electric one-wheel football. Or if you want to see how Jesse and I fared on it, head over to the Now Let's Review channel and you'll see all sorts of fun reviews.
Yeah, this is probably the least useful item we've ever reviewed, but there are many other more useful items.
Yeah. All right, it's time for Going Green. Danish company Lego announced on September 15th that they will start to use recycled paper bags in its toy sets instead of plastic bags.
This will begin a 5-year phase-out of plastic bags, and it is part of their $400 million sustainability initiative.
About 2% of Lego pieces, such as the Lego bushes and trees, are currently made out of sugarcane instead of petroleum.
And Lego sources 100% green energy already.
Lego wants to make all of its products from sustainable materials by 2030.
The other great part about Lego is that they last forever. So at some point, I think they can just, okay, we've made enough Lego sets for everybody. Have fun, everyone.
Also, Zach, he's the Lego maniac. It's still true today.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Into the Future.
So USA boutique car company Vanderhall, made popular by their 3-wheeled trike, the Venice, which also has an electric version known as the Edison, is entering the 4-wheeled market. It's hard to call it just a side-by-side or a 4-wheel drive utility vehicle. Being electric, most of us already know its capabilities are going to be off the chart.
Little is known right now. We just get a sneak peek of the front with its style similar to what is signature Vanderhall, plus a massive LED light bar up on top.
The side shows the open-air doors and back. They'll be sharing more of this information soon about this off-road adventure mobile.
All right, it's time for Sunspots.
This is weekly solar news.
So we've got our buddy Sam with the Innovative Sustainable Solutions YouTube channel, a fantastic YouTube channel, by the way, so go check it out. He built a solar-powered car. Now, Sam has a story for us about the first solar roof in Texas.
Hey, Zach and Jesse, Now You Know viewers. I am here with Mo today in front of his house where he is getting his Tesla solar roof installed. And Mo, who's installing the Tesla solar roof on your house?
So Good Faith Energy is installing it. Good Faith Energy is a company based here in North Texas. I founded it in 2014, and it's definitely a dream come true to finally see my roof getting solar on it.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
So how'd the whole process work? Were you just at home one day and Elon called you up and he's like, hey Mo, how do you want to install some
Pretty much, man. Me
me
and Elon go way back. No, we got our certification early this year for the Tesla roof. And so I was like, this is a great opportunity to go ahead and do a solar roof and showcase it. And it's a very high visibility, high traffic area.
Yeah.
Right on the corner. Then after that, we basically got the permits, went to Tesla, got the designs finalized, submitted the interconnection applications with the utility, and placed the order for the material. Took about 60 days for all the materials to show up.
You guys are very early entry into this program.
Early. So
one of I think you were the first company in North Texas to be doing these installs. That's really cool.
It is, man. I kept pestering my Tesla rep because I kept bugging him and saying, when the Tesla roof is coming, I want to be your first guy in Texas. I want to be your first CI. I want to be on the first plane to train. He said, no, we're actually doing our first training in California next week. So I was sitting there with my partner Michael. I said, we're flying out, and we're got a little giggly, and so here we are, man.
You flew out to California for the training, the orientation on how to install these. I'm assuming this must be a little more complicated than a normal solar install because you guys had to fly all the way out there to take a course. So what makes this build different than your traditional where you're just mounting panels on a bracket?
Great question. I mean, this is a full-on roofing job. This is a crew that doesn't exist. Why? Because you need a roofer, a coppersmith, and an electrician all on site. And also, if there's a big storm, I don't have to replace my whole roof. They're designed for serviceability. So I can use a little tile removing tool. It's like a crowbar in a way for the shingles. And you can pop up a glass tile and slide it out, take it out of its feet and slide it out. And then slide it another one, put it in its feet and push it down. And there's your, busted tile.
Thanks, Mo, for your time today.
You're welcome, man.
Good luck on your company. Good Faith Energy for your Tesla solar roof if you're anywhere near Dallas, Texas. And now you know.
Yeah, that seems like a no-brainer. If you're in northern Texas and you want to go solar, check out Good Faith Solar Energy. Thanks, Sam.
And if you want to go solar, but you're not in northern Texas and you got lots of questions, call our buddies up at Energy Pal. They are the energy geeks that help homeowners go solar for less. And they've helped dozens of our viewers to go solar from the comfort of your own couch.
So you can find the link to Energy Pal in the show notes down below, and let them know that Zach and Jesse sent you.
All right, it's time for our video contributor stories. What do we got this week, Jess?
We've got David in Wisconsin.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. My name is David, and I'm just outside of Madison, Wisconsin, at the Middleton Municipal Airport, also known as Maury Field. I have something very interesting to show you today. Over that way. Behind me, on the other side of that runway, is Madison Gas and Electric's brand new 5-megawatt solar array. It just went online earlier this week and is now providing clean energy to members of its shared solar program, including me. A year ago, I talked to Dave Benferrato from Madison Gas and Electric, and he talked about this program. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. I'll also leave a link to the official webpage. Going green is the financially smart choice for a lot of companies and private individuals right now. To the northwest of here, there is a wind farm owned by private software company Epic Systems. Although I cannot put solar panels on my own roof because I live in an apartment, I can contribute a little bit to sustainability by participating in programs like Shared Solar. Personally, I am delighted to see renewable energy increasing in popularity where I live. If we keep going, maybe we'll leave this planet better than we found it. Well, that's all that I've got for you today. Until next time, now you know.
Thank you, David.
And thank you for pointing out that even if you live in an apartment like me, you can still have community solar or wind. Like I have wind that I pay for. Even though I live in an apartment and I can't put up a big wind turbine and I can't put solar on my roof, I can still use renewable energy to charge my car and live my life.
All right, it's time for the Patreon bonus stories.
And I found some new music that you're really going to want to hear.
Oh, cool. We can play it there.
Yeah, so head over to patreon.com/nowyouknow. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month and get access to all of our Patreon bonus stories, including this week's.
See you there. All right, we're back from our Patreon bonus stories. Got rejuvenated again this week.
Yes.
Time for our shout-outs. Who do we got this week, Jess?
We have Adam B. Carell,
Joshua Jett,
Ron Rosenberg,
Vladimir Tassi,
Kevin Oliver,
Adrian Greenwood,
Douglas Zegel,
Christopher DiCenzo,
Aniti Marijarvi,
Bo W.,
Curtis King,
and Darren Thorpe.
Thank you so much for supporting
We got them all
this
right,
channel.
I think.
No, we didn't.
We didn't? You stopped before you said it.
That doesn't count.
It does if you
No, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. I messed it up. I'm sorry.
You didn't mess it up. You're practicing it.
No, you got to get it all on the first take. Those are the rules.
I didn't know that.
Those are the
I
rules.
thought it was...
Those are the rules.
Oh. All right, it's time for Elon's tweets of the week, and we got a bunch, so buckle up. All right, Elon said, anyone tracking tonnage to orbit per year for all launch vehicles? And of course, Pranay is. Check out these two charts. One is from Q1 of this year, and the other one is from Q2. What's on the top line there?
SpaceX?
What's let's say number 4?
ULA?
Yeah. Look
Number
how
4.
Look how tiny.
Look, if I was doing anything and it was like, here are the number of top companies this year, we wouldn't even be talking about ULA. ULA would be like, what's that?
And
United Launch Alliance?
And you might be like, why are you picking on them? Well, because they're two giant companies that have been doing this for years.
And we've invested billions and billions of dollars into.
Of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
And then Elon said, that's the number that really matters, is the tonnage. Yeah. And then Sam Altman said, could I please get some new book recommendations? And Elon said,
The Story of Civilization. First book is a little dry, but second book, Life of Greece, is incredible.
And then Elon said, ancient Greece had it all and then committed suicide. Nobody digs your grave better than yourself. Yikes.
Wow, super sage
Yeah.
words, huh?
Then the World of Engineering published this video about the new Husqvarna rubber logger boots. And Elon said,
Seems like they should make a whole outfit out of that material.
yeah, you could take a chainsaw to them.
I feel like you could do that with medieval armor plates, don't you think?
Okay. But this is waterproof.
Oh, the thing that Knight's really worried about. Oh no, it is raining.
And then Clean Technica said, Tesla developing smartwatch with partners, news outlets report.
Elon said, definitely not. Smartwatches and phones are yesterday's technology. Neuralinks are the future. I didn't think this Tesla watch thing was going to happen at all. You kidding me? Tesla watch? Gross.
Then Tesla Vibe says, we need a warning if the 12-volt battery is going to die. This needs to be implemented into a future update, Elon.
Elon said, couldn't agree more. Major software improvements are already in place to extend its life and more coming.
That's cool news. That's like a whole news story right there.
I know.
Something about the 12-volt battery. We should make a video about that. Then Eric X said, it's endgame when SN8 does this. Check out this simulation here. And Elon said, pretty accurate simulation, although SN8 will use 3 Raptors. If SN8 craters, SN9 and SN10 are close behind. High production rate allows for fast iteration. Then Matt said, it's nuts now. SN8, 9, 10, and 11? What SN Starship do you think could reach orbit first when SpaceX begins to do orbital tests?
Elon said, just a guess, but probably mid-teens. Booster and stacking on orbital pad are likely limiting factors. We'll build several ships just to improve the production system. So he is applying car manufacturing techniques to the idea of like, well, if we just build a lot of them, we can implement the changes faster. Instead of being like, oh, it takes us 3 months to build a car, and to implement changes, it takes a lot longer because now you have to wait 3 months. He's just, instead of rockets, which usually take years to build, he's able to build them in like weeks, days, crazy. It seems like. So now if they're like, oh yeah, we got to put a special, sphinx-foam manometer on there, that's fine, because we'll just put it on the next serial number, which is coming out in like 2 weeks, and then they're good to go and launch. It's crazy.
Then Vala said, this incredible animation shows how deep humans have dug. And Elon said, tunnels are the solution to traffic. You can have as many levels as you want. Usable tunnel depth far exceeds tallest buildings, so would work even for New York or Beijing. Then Pranay said, to avoid these types of congestions in the future, Elon said.
Exactly.
And then he kept going with tunnels for a while. He said, embrace tunnels.
And Viv asked, how is it going with Proof Rock? Beating Gary yet?
Elon said, Gary the Snail is still winning, but we're gaining on him or her. And then Elon said, have you hugged a tunnel today?
And Jack Farrington said, let's build tunnels onto the Austin factory site.
And Elon said, for sure. And then Elon said, tunnels under cities with self-driving electric cars will feel like warp drive. First operational tunnel under Vegas, almost done.
And he said doubles as an underground nuclear shelter. And he pointing to Fallout New Vegas, which is a video game.
And then Kristen said, you need to throw a Vegas boring party Fallout styled.
Elon said, great idea.
That's awesome.
So,
could we get invited to that? That would
sure. Yeah, we have to work on our outfits starting now, I bet.
And then Elon tweeted out this meme.
And he said, story of my life.
And then Johnna Crider tweeted out The real reason Bernie Sanders and Robert Reich are vilifying Elon Musk, an ally of their policies, it has nothing to do with Elon Musk, but everything to do with marketed good versus evil for political gain. And Elon said, they remind me of these guys. Anyway, go check out our article in Medium. It's fantastic. It's called The Real Reason Bernie Sanders and Robert Reich Are Vilifying Elon Musk.
Right, because it doesn't make any sense, right? They're both for clean energy.
And they're both millionaires.
Right. And so you'd think that Elon would be the guy that they would be going for. So this might kind of shed some light on like why people on even the left seem to be against Elon.
And then Tesla Dry said, can you give a starting date for Hardware 3 retrofit for Model 3 in Europe? Patiently waiting.
Elon said should be happening soon.
Well, that's good news for them.
Yeah, it's not much of a rush. It's not like, I mean, I'm sorry, Europe, but you guys are slow when it comes to the old regulations.
Then Clean Technica said, Tesla Battery Day. Has Elon Musk already leaked the battery tech that will give scale to the EV revolution?
And Elon said no, but you make some great points. Important to note that iron's cost advantage is partly offset by increased pack mass. So the fully considered cost is closer to nickel. That said, iron alleviates much of the scaling problem.
You know what we should do? Tomorrow is Battery Day. We're going to be live streaming. We should talk about this stuff pre-Battery Day going live. So we're going to be starting our Battery Day live stream a little bit before Battery Day starts. So head on over to our live stream. Join us there. We'll be talking about stuff. We'll be getting hyped. And
bring
it
your
should
popcorn.
Be fun. Yeah.
Make sure you have some snacks. It's going to be... I have no idea how long battery's going to be. They could be like, okay, it's going to be like what Dances with Wolves in terms of length. We'll just be like, oh, I can't believe this is still happening.
And then if you're wondering how insane it could be, Teslarati said a closer look at the Tesla Roadrunner cell leak hints that Battery Day will be more insane than expected.
And he said it will be very insane.
Elon tweeted this out, speedrunning Factorio in real life. And for those of you who've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who haven't played, go play it. It's a lot of fun.
Don't go play it if you need to do anything.
For about 4 months.
Anything. Well, it's true. The objective is to leave the planet.
Have you gotten off the planet yet? I have.
I don't think I was trying to.
Then Christopher Dungeon said, first mention of Elon on Twitter. And Elon said, a lot has happened in 13 years. So that was 13 years ago only that someone ever mentioned Elon. In that 13 years, imagine what has taken place.
Wow.
And then Trunk Fan said, if Elon Musk had just left his $160 million PayPal payout in PayPal, it would be worth $21 billion today. Instead, he bet literally every penny on creating the first mass manufacturing car company in the US in a century and going to Mars. What a f***ing legend. And Elon said,
to be frank, in the early days, I thought there was a greater than 90% chance that both SpaceX and Tesla would be worth $0. The press and aerospace/automotive industry at the time correctly agreed with me.
Tesla owners online said, well, you've proved them wrong, but it took an extreme amount of work and some close calls. In the end, it was worth it, and history will remember it.
Elon said it took an utterly insane amount of work to move the SpaceX and Tesla success probabilities above 0.
Wow.
That's a very humble way of saying that, right?
I know, right? All right, it's time for Community Mail Time. Community Mail Time. So Rahul sent us some photos of the new Lucid store being built in the Westfield Valley Fair Mall in Santana Row, San Jose, California.
And Tiago sent us this photo of Volkswagen ID3s arriving in Lisbon, Portugal last week. And Joshua in Tulsa sent us this picture of... well, we don't actually know what this is going to be. I think it looks like a showroom. It might be their service center.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma.
But it hasn't opened yet.
And my daughter, your sister, Jam, has been killing it over at the Clips channel, reading your comments. Her second video is up, and people have demanded that she be on Tesla Time News. So go check her out on the Now You Know Clips channel and see what you think. Should we have her on the show sometime? We'll leave it up to you guys. All right, so what's the results of our Patreon poll this week?
So this week we asked, is Nikola an intricate scam? And over 550 people said that it was a scam or an intricate scam. An obvious or an intricate scam. 46 people didn't have an opinion. 34 people said that it has done some questionable things, but it's not a scam per se. And 6 people think that it is a reputable company.
It's time for Supercharger reviews, and these are sponsored by our friends at Evanex, the Tesla community's accessory store. Looking for some awesome accessories for your Tesla? Then check out Evanex and use our discount code NOWYOUKNOW to save you $10 on purchases over $100.
The Easton Supercharger is a version 3 supercharger. Looks like it's hosted by the Royal Farms, just like the one that we reviewed when we did the Ocean City supercharger. There's free air and a trash can directly attached to the supercharger. Would I pick this over any other supercharger? Yes, in that I would pick it over a Gen 2. There's nothing walkable. There's plenty to do nearby. You'll have to stop on your way in or on your way out. The restrooms were not clean when I went through. That, I'm gonna have to give this a 6 out of 10.
Hey, Zach and Jesse, Dallas Sunius from Calgary, Alberta. I'm in between 11th and 12th Ave, and as you can see, there's still nothing to report. Okay, good day.
I am at the Hilton Hotel in Stockton, California, approximately 2 blocks off of the March Lane exit, I-5 North. There's 12 brand new Tesla superchargers here. They are not yet functional. It's an interesting story from the local Tesla Motor Club about how long it's taking to get these operational, but they have been completed for some time. We're in a neighborhood with a lot of commercial activity, although there is no food or drink, anything right here adjacent to the hotel. You need to go walking. Now, even more interestingly is in this direction by the front door of the hotel, there are 4 destination chargers immediately adjacent to the front door. Those are also not operational. Again, same story. The local electric utility company seems to be having problems bringing them online.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. Frank from the UK here at the Marks Tay supercharger just outside Colchester. It's a new 12-bay, 150 kilowatt supercharger in the Marks Tay Hotel. The hotel is just a couple of minutes off the A12, and this supercharger is a really useful location for getting in and out of Suffolk. There's not much in the area. However, a short walk away there's a US-style diner, and then you've got the hotel amenities themselves. I stopped for a coffee. I give this a score of 6 out of 10, mainly because of the lack of amenities. So now you know.
Thank you, everybody.
That was really great.
I love supercharger reviews.
And we have another most beautiful supercharger review. We never came up with a good name for that.
All right, I'll be the judge of this. Let's see.
All right, so this is in Canmore, Alberta. Thank you again, Somi, for sharing us these beautiful superchargers. Any supercharger where you can see a big old mountain?
Yeah, I'm
a big fan of.
Canmore, Alberta. Nice. All right, it's time for new superchargers. What do we got this week?
Number 21 in Taiwan is the 4-stall urban supercharger in Kaohsiung at Joy Plaza.
The 8-stall 250 kilowatt in Las Vegas at North Premium Outlets, Nevada.
The 16-stall 250 kilowatt in Eschborn, Germany.
The 16-stall urban in Santa Clara, California.
The 16-stall urban supercharger in Los Angeles at Row DTLA, California.
Yeah, that's the old 7th Street Produce Market in California.
Interesting.
The 8-stall version 3 in Kinston, North Carolina.
The 8-stall version 3 supercharger in Kincardine, Ontario, Canada.
Number 33 in South Korea is the 4-stall 120 kilowatt in Busan, Yeonjae, South Korea.
Number 545 in Europe is the 4-stall version 3 in Boulay, Switzerland.
And number 888 in the U.S., number 1964 in the world, is the 4-stall 250 kilowatt in Jacksonville, West, Florida.
And I want to give a special thank you to supercharge.info, where we get all of this great info every single week.
And speaking of superchargers, we heard that Tesla is building what could be the world's largest supercharger location in Firebaugh in Fresno County, California.
So how big are we talking?
56 supercharger stalls. With a new restaurant and convenience store, this would be bigger than the 2 50-stall locations in Shanghai and Beijing, China.
Now, why is it going in there? That's like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but it's a route from north-south in California, so I'm guessing that's, like where a lot of people have to stop. I don't know.
Weird.
Let us know. All right, it's time for the Patreon giveaway. To get yourself into this big barrel of fun, you have to become a Patreon, and the more you support us, the more times we enter you in to win. You're going to be winning a poster this week, a Tesla poster. The key to innovation is combining old ideas in new ways.
And the winner is Daryl Mulder. Congratulations,
Daryl.
We're going to be signing the back of this poster. You know, our patrons, we should probably do like a poll or something on whether or not you want us to sign the front of these posters. We've just been signing the back because we figure who on earth would want to see our ugly signatures every...
Yeah. But I do want to plug our live stream for Battery Day tomorrow, guys.
Yes. So what time?
I think we've worked out all the kinks. The shareholder event starts at 1:30 Pacific. We're going to start at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. So that way we have a chance to kind of get into things, answer questions, talk about stuff. We will be down in the corner there, so you can still see the event going on.
Yep.
We will not talk over it too much. We might just say a couple like oohs and ahs, but like when the real stuff gets going, we're going to let it go. And then we will just be commenting on it, when there's an appropriate time, because there's a lot of downtime, during these things.
Right. It's both an investor day as well as battery day.
Right.
So there is some battery day components. There's also going to be some boring investor stuff where we can talk about maybe what's just happened.
Also, you might see me faint because, who knows? If it's as insane as it's supposed to be, I might just lose my mind.
Right. And we'll probably be sticking around afterward to kind of debrief a little bit, but we do have to record in depth. But this is a very exciting week. So stay tuned, stick around. Don't go, don't leave. I don't know where you'd go, but don't do that. Stay glued to YouTube. And we'll see you next week.
Now you know.